Hey, what is going on, everybody, and welcome to my first real video on Marvel Future Revolution. Now, this is mainly due to a combination of being a little bit busy and just really getting into the game and making time to do this. As you can see, I am level 61, which I would say is just over halfway through the grinding process to max level. And one of the biggest questions I had coming up through the game was, what should I use my crystals on? Now, this is the premium currency, which you would spend money to obtain, but there are some free-to-play ways to get this just through the progression and through the login calendars and things like this. There are quite a few places where you can actually spend your crystals, so I want to go over all of these and also give my suggestions as to what I think are the best uses for this. This will be especially important if you're free to play or a very light spender. I think if you're someone who's spending a lot, this might be less relevant for you, but hopefully there are some usable tips here for everyone. And so without further ado, let's get the show started. Alright, and so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to check at what you can do with the crystals and where you can get them. So as you can see in the top right corner, this is my sort of, I don't know, the user interface menu here. I have 3,900 crystals. Now this is the total crystals that I've accumulated through the time that I've played, with this level 62 I think, Captain Marvel, and I have like a level 30 Captain America and a level 30 Spider-Man. Now we're going to take a look at why that's important when we talk about what you can use your crystals on. So to do that, you kind of need to go into the store, and that kind of gives you all of the stuff if you want to spend, but there's also a lot of places where you can spend your crystals, because if you don't want to spend real money, you can spend crystals. Now we'll go from the bottom up, because that's where actually you find the crystals, is in the store here. Now I believe this for me might be in Canadian dollars. I'm not sure actually if it's in Canadian or US dollars. Either way, I don't really buy the crystals. So if you see that I have about 3,900 crystals, I have, I guess, somewhere around, $50 or $60 worth of crystals. So that's not bad. That's stuff I've accumulated over the last week just through playing the game free to play. So that kind of gives you a little idea, I guess, about what your weekly crystal income is worth. I don't know if it's going to be the same going through. But that's how much I've managed to pick up so far. Now, if you actually go and take a look at the consumables section, this is where I want to get started, because you see here, when you go here, there's a bunch of stuff you can buy for gold as well, but there are some stuff that you can buy for crystals, and the thing that stands out the most is actually the Hero Slot expansion ticket. Now, this one's really interesting because it's only 400 crystals, and this basically allows you to unlock your 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th character for your character select screen. Now you're probably wondering, well, why do I need to do that? And you'll kind of find that out, as you play through the game. And if you were to play other characters, you can actually do side quests. I believe it's up to 4 characters, but there's other reasons why you'd want to do that, and that's for your squad rank. So I'm actually going to go ahead and actually buy one of these, because I was going to do it anyways. So we're going to see what it looks like here when you purchase the expansion ticket. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, you can't. Can you keep doing it actually? Oh, there we go. Okay, so that's fine. Yeah, so I'm going to buy all 4 of them, and I'll show you exactly why that is. I believe it actually goes into your items slot. My partner did this before, I believe. I think it actually goes. Does it? The ticket? Yeah, it does, the ticket. So the ticket goes into your inventory slot here, and then you use it. And then, unfortunately, it does drag you back into the Hero Select screen. And so this part is kind of annoying, but we're going to go into exactly why. And so that hero there. So yeah, it does unlock the 5th slot. That allows you to pick up a new character. There is 8 characters currently in the game, so this will allow you to get all 8 characters that are in Marvel Future Revolution. Now, I don't know, down the line, if they unlock new characters, or release new characters, rather. I don't know if they're going to be a 9th slot, things like that, or if it's just going to maintain 8. I presume that they might actually unlock more character slots, but it's hard to say at this point in the game. So anyways, we're going to jump back in here, but I'm going to show you exactly why it is that you're going to want more characters, because this is one of the #1 thing that I would unlock first in terms of your crystals with what you pick up through as you go along, and that's going to be really, really important to your squad rank. Alright, and I probably could have edited that a little bit better. I kind of forgot that when you buy the new character slot, it actually drags you into the character select screen, so sorry about that, guys. But squad rank is very important. So there you have your character level, and you also have your squad rank. So you can see that I'm level rank 37 for my squad. This is really important for game progression, because at certain points in the game that you actually need to have this improved in order to get to the next regions of the storyline. But how you do that, typically, you get this for regular gameplay on your main character, but other really quick ways to do that is actually through grinding the story again on other characters. And so if you go into the records section, and I believe it's in the challenges, and you go to the battles section here, you can kind of see right here. So reboot, defeat the Vision in Epic Mission 3 times. These are basically all of the main story battles. And every time you do this with an additional character, you're getting a huge whopping chunk of squad XP, 3,000, 3,000, 2,000, 2,000, you know, and so on and so forth. So you get 2,000 for the second time you do it, 3,000 for the third time. I'm not sure if it keeps going up to 4,000 and 5,000, but basically the more characters that you clear the main story with, the more squad XP that you're going to get, and the faster you can get this, because not only do you have character level 100, but you also have squad level 100. So I think this is a very important way, and you're also clearing more achievements, getting more crystals, as you can see down here. Basically, once I get to 103 more achievements cleared, I get 500 more crystals. So definitely a good source of crystals through the overall achievements in the game that you can get as you kind of progress through the main story. So this is really, really important. Now, other sources of uses of crystals, of course, we can go back into the store. Yeah, that was just one way, and I think that's a very important use of your early currency. But there's also lots of these bundles as well. Now, there's tons of stuff here. There's costume bundles that you could do this. Now, I don't know if any of this is really that great, because I think it's a very huge chunk of crystals here to use that on. But there are like the Omega card set bundles. These are the comic books which upgrade your power as well. Same with the costumes. This is all gear related. And if you actually go to the draws, and we'll jump ahead to this, it basically costs 1,800 crystals if you want to do a draw of 10. This is for 10 costume pieces. But if you look into the details section, it'll actually show you what the drop chances of these are. And my partner actually did a 10 draw on the costumes because he just didn't, you know, he wanted to go, you know, I don't know, he thought maybe he's a gambler type, but I'm not a gambler type. And so if you look here, that the 3-star, 87.7%, and you basically have a 12.5% or whatever left over to get 4 and 5. It's really not great. You might get like 1 out of 10, you might get a 4-star, but realistically, you're mostly going to get 3-star. And 3-stars are really not that hard to get. Like I said, I've been playing for about a week now, or since the game came out, and quite casually so. And, you know, I have 2 4-star items and 2 3-star items. So putting that into perspective, this isn't going to really jump you ahead too much. You probably have to spend quite a bit on these pulls in order to get 5-star and 4-stars. That would kind of jumpstart you a little bit faster. 3-stars are very easy to pick up. You know, it doesn't take that long to upgrade to that. So I really do not think that the costumes, and the costumes are character specific. So keeping that in mind, I don't know. I really don't think that's probably the best use of your crystals. Omega cards, on the other hand, are a bit different. It's the exact same cost. It's 1,800 crystals for a draw of 10, and it's pretty much the same drop rates, 3-star, 4-star, and 5-star. The difference is that Omega cards also improve your stats, but they're also shareable across your account, so you can actually trade them to other characters if you kind of don't need certain ones anymore. You can have a total of 5 equipped, I believe it is. Maybe 6, I forget. I have to go back into the window. But the point is that they're tradable across your other characters. So if there's ever a time that you feel that you don't need them anymore, or you've kind of upgraded past it, then you can transfer that to one of your other characters and still make use of it. So for me, that kind of makes it seem like the Omega cards, aka the comic books, are more, you know, more worth your crystals than the costumes. But that's really opinion based. You know, obviously the costumes are going to add that aesthetic value. So if you're really after one of these, I guess the Captain Marvel Studios, I'm pretty sure you can only get that from the pulling, but the drop rates are just really low, so it's really up to you how you want to spend your crystals there. The Dimension Box, this is the third thing that you can kind of spend, and this is half the cost. It's 900 for a draw of 10. This is kind of like miscellaneous size stuff. Cores are very important for your power as well, but in terms of the other drops, this is squad rank XP stuff, and again, it's a lot easier to do this via just leveling up another character. So this isn't, if you're after squad rank XP, I wouldn't do it through any of these drops. The cores are probably the best drops here, but once again, you can kind of get these through natural gameplay, so I don't think this is really a huge deal. Things like this, the Fury's classified data, Pym's research log, and the Stark's blueprints, this all levels up your squad power. Again, these are things that you can also do by just grinding away another character's story. And, you know, as tedious as that sounded, and this is a little bit of a grindy type of game, so that's going to happen. So I don't think that any of these are really all that necessary, but I would say that if you are going to do any of them, I think that maybe the Omega cards are probably the better use for that. But feel free to leave a comment in the section below if you think otherwise. In terms of the perks, these are just other ways that I kind of went over this a little bit. Oh, sorry, not the perks. the bundles. These are other ways that you can spend your, basically, I guess it's guaranteed sort of costume bundles here, but you're only getting a couple. You're getting 4 pieces here instead of rolling up 10 for 2,000. I mean, I guess if you were looking for that, that's probably better than pulling for the 10, I would say. And same with the comics, because you're guaranteed to get a full set. So if you are to go buy any of them, I would say buy these costume and card set bundles rather than actually doing the pulls. I don't think that's going to be as worth it. That's probably the, I would not go for the Core Deluxe bundle. I don't think that's really worth it. There is one last thing, though, that I do want to talk about that we haven't quite gotten to yet, and that's actually the inventory space. So we're going to click on my inventory. And it might not be super obvious. I am at 80 out of 110 right now. I've kind of upgraded it twice already. You start at 100 inventory spaces, but you can actually max it up to a total of 250. Now, it does go up incrementally, so it's about currently at 20 crystals for 5 slots. But after you get to about, I think it's 150, yeah, so it does jump up from 20 to 60 per 5, and then does it jump again? I don't remember here. Yeah, it does. Right at 185 here, it looks like, or no, 180, it jumps up by 80 per 5, and then it jumps up to 100, some more. But why you might want to do this is because if you're grinding a lot, and now, okay, so for people who might not be super familiar with the game yet, there are these regional consumable craft materials. So the Imperial Combat Uniform, the new Stark Alloy, Stark Super Alloy. This allows you to craft regional costumes once you unlock the workshop. Now, the best places to get this stuff is setting your character on auto and grinding away a lot of enemies. Now, you do this in the region that you want to get these crafting materials for, but what happens as you grind these materials is you get a lot of these badges. So I was farming in Hydra City recently. This was like a level 30 area, and I was farming a way to get Hydra City crafting parts, which is this, the Imperial Combat Uniform fabric. So what happened over time was just through random drops, you get these badges, but when you dismantle the badges, which is really important as well, you're getting Convergium, which is useful for all crafting in the game, and a little bit of gold. So basically, if I were to set my game on AFK autoing for about an hour, 2 hours, or however, you know, because I'm playing on PC and I can do that, I don't know if you'd do that more likely if you're on a phone, but for this, you know, it would fill up eventually. You know, all the badges would fill up. I'd max out at 110 slots. And so what I think I might actually do right now, for the moment, I think I'll probably take it up to 200. That way, when I do these sort of farming sessions, I'll actually be able to pick up more badges, and therefore, when I come back to my computer, you know, I'll be able to dismantle significantly more badges because my my inventory basically wasn't overflowing, or you know, I'll be able to pick up 90 more badges than I had before in my farming session. And this is a very, we'll talk about this in a separate video, I think, because this is one way that you can actually pick up costume parts a little bit quicker, where you can actually do farming for that, because, you know, this game isn't energy based. It's based on how much time you want to put into it, and, you know, in some ways a lot of this does come from grinding, and specifically auto grinding, but, you know, it's okay, at least you can put it to the side. You know, if you want to do something else, you can do that. So we're gonna go ahead and buy these inventory spots, because I think I'm gonna make use of it for my auto grinding that I farm for regional costume parts specifically, and for the badges that accumulate in my inventory. So this is 960 crystals that I spent there, and I think that's really going to be the most important, the second most important after buying the hero unlock slots. So that and your inventory spots. Where you could also do this, though, is you could do for your storage. Now, this is similar to inventory space. This is actually shared across all of your characters. So the difference is, you know, the inventory, which I just bought, was not across all of my characters. I would do that primarily on your main character, who you're going to be doing a lot of the farming on. But you might want to also expand your storage to, say, 150. I think that would be reasonable. It's actually not that expensive. It stays up to by 20 for a good chunk of time. It goes up by 40, actually, a little bit. But I would go up to 150. You can get a total of 250, just like your inventory. But I don't know if that's as necessary as your flat-out inventory space, because the character that you're going to be farming on, you're just going to dismantle a lot of those badges like I was talking about anyway. So we're going to go to 150, and we're going to buy that for my storage just now, because I do have 3 characters. I am kind of sharing stuff across my characters. I do like to store some of my Blitz badges, and again, if you don't know what Blitz is, we'll talk about that in another video as well. But this is a good way to store some of your materials, some of your items that you can share across your accounts, which is really nice as well. It's very unlikely to really cap out that quickly, but I do think that that's a good use of your core, not your cores, god, I'm thinking of Marvel Strike Force here, your crystals of your premium currency. So I hope we've gone over most of the things that you can go use with your crystals. Hopefully some of these things help. So just to recap, I think that buying the character slots there, the 4, because that's a one-time thing basically right now. So once you get out of that out of the way, you don't have to think about that again. And then from there, I would actually prioritize your character inventory on your primary character that you're going to be grinding a lot on. And then thirdly, probably your squad storage space, maybe bumping up to about 150 like I did. That seems about fair. And then after that, it's really up to you. You know, I might actually do a poll, you know, just to see how bad my luck is, because, you know, everyone has that sort of that inner gambler in them and wants to go for it. I think I'd probably rather go for the Omega cards. However, like I said, I think the bundles are also quite good as well. So I might actually, if it's still around, I don't know if this disappears or not. You can only get this one-time total. If you notice, it says 1 per squad, which squad is basically your account rather than 1 per character. So I think that I will do this instead. Maybe when next time I get to 2,000, I'll buy the Xander 2 card bundle, and we'll see how that goes. But other than that, hopefully that helps, guys. You know, I'm no expert here. I'm only level 61. Actually, I thought it was 62, but that's okay. I'll be going up the levels soon, and hopefully I have some better tips for you guys as we go along. Hopefully you guys are enjoying Marvel Future Revolution. For those of you who are playing the game, it is a very fun game. It's very different from Marvel Strike Force if you're watching this and you're a subscriber of Marvel Strike Force from my channel. But yeah, it is still a lot of fun, and we'll be talking more about that in the weeks to come. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Until next time, guys, of course, stay safe, and I'll see y'all later. Boylan signing out.